You have to say.
So our sponsor this month is Diane Carson, and she has over 40 years experience in PR and marketing strategy. Diane has had to keep up with changes in the marketing and communication fields from her position many years ago as pro-consul at the British Consulate General in St. Louis, where she arranged personal appearances and media interviews for personalities such as Prince Charles, Lord Snowden, and special events director, and later wedding registry director for a major department store. Sorry, my eyes are acting weird today. Even filling in for Frosty the Snowman at breakfast with Santa if necessary. And in her 20 plus years, the owner of a marketing and promotional products company, she has enjoyed every minute of her career, helping small businesses and entrepreneurs to grow in times of good and bad. Diane is a certified marketing consultant. Companies hire her to move their marketing forward and use her expertise to get them to the next level and to collaborate and develop creative marketing programs that put and keep their names in front of their current and prospective customers. As an expert in the promotional products field, in September 2020, Diane won an industry award for being one of the most creative promotional products agency in the Midwest. She enjoys strategizing and working with her clients to select just the right promotional product to represent their company and delivers the item on time and on budget. As a solopreneur, Diane has had to wear many hats, and she has to also juggle family obligations with career choices. She is a proud mother of one son, Alex, and grandmother of two grandchildren, 6-year-old Lucas and 8-year-old Emma. And we are...
I think that's enough.
Dan, you want to say anything?
Thank you, Shava. That was wonderful. That's me in a nutshell. So I guess I use all of that experience to work with small businesses and medium-sized businesses and entrepreneurs and nonprofits to help them with their marketing programs. And I'm really kind of focusing more on the promotional product side of the business. But I still do have clients that, for instance, I helped, or I'm still helping him actually, a CFO for hire who is coming to the end of his corporate career and has decided that he wants to go it alone as a CFO for hire. So we started with, designing his logo. We have a really nice logo, and he's calling himself Mark Twain CFO. And the reason that he came up with Mark Twain was when a boat went down a river during Mark Twain's time on this earth, apparently they would put a measure down into the water and see if it was safe to go on. And so as an accountant, he figures that he can look at people's accounting stuff, figure it out, and then help them move forward. So we've done a logo for him. I've done a website. We're about ready to launch it. We'll then put out a press release, and we're doing some email marketing for him. So that's the marketing side. And on the promotional product side, I'm working with some mortgage companies that I love working with marketing directors who have really nice budgets, who are purchasing items for the next 6 months. So, and I've got some really nice repeat clients. So, and then also I work with Missy, with Dr. Geez, I'm having a
Dr. Stan.
Dr. Stan on helping them. We're both on the board and helping them get an internet radio launched. So I really enjoy what I do. I take, help anybody with anything, basically. I'm a heart-centered person, as Karen says. That's part of Gateway to Dreams. And I love Gateway to Dreams. And she said, I was wondering them all. I picked up a flyer. I had no idea what it was. I'm like, what is this? And I went to the very first CPW meeting, and I was hooked. So, and I love the relationships I've made there. You know, I always believe in giving before you get anything. So I just have had a really good relationship with all of the people at CPW, especially Karen. I just adore her. So that's about it. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you, Diane. So next up, we have the Getting to Know You script. And let me introduce how that is going to work. All right. So let me get back to the MC here. So you are going to see in the chat, there will be a Getting to Know You script. And when you get into a breakout, and we're going to go into breakout rooms, and when you get into the breakout rooms, you are going to be able to have your script accessible by clicking that link in the chat box. So in lieu of collaboration cards, be sure to message the attendees in the chat that you would like to connect to. So we are going to have a timekeeper once you get into the breakout room. And, you know, I wanted to know if we could try something new. Usually it's our birthday, but that takes a little bit of minutes away from figuring it all out. Could it be the first person that actually enters the room, whoever arrives in the breakout room first, could they be the person that is the timekeeper? Don't try to avoid getting into the room first, okay? Just go into the breakout room, and then use your phone, you know, the timer on your phone, and just everyone is going to get 60 seconds to share what they do. And the timekeeper is going to just let the person speaking know. And if you go over, just try to cut it off so the next person can share. I will give an example. So my name is Sheva Pincus, and my business is with Sheva. And what I do is I help coaches, moderators, and community leaders gain comfort and confidence in hosting online group experiences. I have a program that I launched this week. It's a 12-week online training program, and it's using the energy centers of the body as a framework, and it's called The Art and Energetics of Online Facilitation and Community Creation. I am looking for speaking opportunities right now that can help reach my target audiences of coaches and heart-centered entrepreneurs. And right now, in my personal life, I am looking for more peace. And then the next 60 days, I'm looking to purchase a computer. And how did I do on time? I don't know if anyone was recording. Okay, so that's just an example of how you would do it. And our amazing magician, Tiffany, is going to somehow get us magically into all these breakout rooms, and we're going to share, and then we're going to come back and be ready to listen to our guest and presenter today, Rebecca Now.
All right, I'm about to wave my magic wand. Is there anybody who doesn't want to go into a room before I do this? Missy, are you going into a room? I don't know what you said. You're muted. Yes, okay, good. All right, sounds good. Well, then I'm going to give you 6 minutes on the clock. So I will put a message in the chat when we're about to close it up, and I'll see you back here in about 6 minutes.
Well, welcome back. We have Rebecca Now as our educational speaker. And she'll have 15 minutes to share all about what the, and also just to know, not to be rude, I will just give you a put my hand up. So keep an eye on me when you have 5 minutes left. And I'll just give you a little nod. So Rebecca is a communicator through her writing, podcast, storytelling, events, and sending cards. She loves appreciating friends and family and colleagues and sponsors with creative cards, using fun graphics program and developing messages that appreciate and uplift the recipient. Rebecca has a BA, which was no small feat, in Women and Gender Studies, and is a distinguished Toastmaster Award recipient. She is a Chamber of Commerce executive in St. Louis County, and she produces a weekly podcast called What's Up Around Town? She reenacts 19th century feminist philosopher Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and she came of age in the 20th century during the women's liberation movement. Now, in the 21st century, Rebecca works to advance gender equality with renewed passion. Rebecca has been joined by Sojourner Truth and Susan B. Anthony reenactors, and they perform as a trio of monumental women in the 19th century. As a member of the National Women's Political Caucus, she is currently involved in writing the history of the founding mothers of the St. Louis Caucus, breaking the political glass ceiling in St. Louis and laying the foundation for other women candidates to follow. Welcome, Rebecca, now.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. I greatly appreciate it. And Sheva, I am going to need to share my screen, but I love this group, and I have a renewed fondness for every time that women gather, because women are powerful and women are acquiring their voice, and now is the time to encourage and uplift each other. And I don't think any of us would have been in Karen Hoffman's orbit, as I call it, if you were not about encouraging and promoting women in a positive, uplifting, kind way. And in my bio, I have a day job with the Chamber of Commerce, and I have many passions. And one of them is my advocacy for sending cards. And sending cards can be in any format. When Karen asked me to speak, generally, when Karen asks something, I say yes, just because I adore Karen. And I'm sure that's true for many of you. And I do love sending cards, and I've done it for many, many years. I send them for business. I send them just to say hi to friends. And I do Valentine's Day cards just to encourage and uplift my friends. So since I said yes to this promotion, two serendipitous things happened. And I know that Karen will appreciate this. But I have a rule about the Girl Scouts. I am a Girl Scout, meaning I was, and I always will be, just like being a Toastmaster. You never quit. It's in you. And whenever I see a Girl Scout selling cookies, I buy cookies, whether it's one or a bunch of them. So I saw my first Girl Scout grocery store display on Sunday, and I bought a box because that's Rebecca's rule, is to buy from Girl Scouts. And the little girls, it was a daisy troop, so it was a small troop. And this is what one of the little daisies gave me when I bought one box of cookies. And you will not be able to read this because it's in yellow, but it says, "I love you." So I was the recipient of a card on Sunday, and I thought that was fantastic. The other serendipitous thing that happened is a friend of mine gave me, and a friend that's in Cpw, gave me a subscription to the Christian Science Monitor, which is a fantastic magazine. I'm going to continue it. But lo and behold, in the issue that came last week, there's a story about people making a difference. And this young man, Jacob Kramer, out of Ohio, started sending cards to elders in nursing homes, and they make the cards. They're hand-done cards, And what he has done is to be able to make a difference from home that feels great, because not only are you making people feel loved, but you also don't have to get off the sofa, which has been kind of cool during the last 2 years. So older people are probably the most isolated during the pandemic, and he has started a movement to do this, which I think is great. And other people are doing this to send cards just to encourage and uplift people, which is great. Now, there are national days for silly things. I don't know who starts these. It's national this day or that day. So, and I don't know if there's a clearinghouse for this where I can register National Rebecca Day. I don't know. But February 23rd today is National Tile Day. So if you want a new tile for your bathroom shower, this would be the day. It was started by some trade group. It is also National Banana Bread Day. So I don't know if anyone's making banana bread today, but that's what February 23rd is. On February 7th, it was National Send a Friend a Card Day. Now, I don't know if you know all this stuff, but I like to send cards on certain dates. I do a Galentine's Day card for my women friends. If you're not on my list, I'd love to put you on my list. I'll send you a link in the chat at the end of my thing.
And Rebecca, as far as if you need to share a screen, I don't have the capacity to share your screen, but you have the capacity to share your screen.
Do? Okay, good. So I'm going to do that.
Like, is it?
Can you see it?
Mhm.
Yes, now we can see it.
Okay. So to me, every day is Send a Card Day. All right. You don't have to have a National Banana Bread Day. Then CPW, let's see, how do I advance this? There you go. Gateway to Dreams, terrible photo. We know their mission, and now the mission's changing, but it's all about kindness and caring for people. I was fortunate to be one of the ambassadors back in 2013 that started Gateway to Dreams. And you might see some familiar faces. I think 3 individuals in this photo have now passed away, including there was another one in addition to what Karen said. But anyway,
never mind. Go ahead.
Barry, what's her first name?
Barry Lynn.
Barry Lynn, yes. All right, so 3 of those people have passed away, but they made a difference in 2013. These are just some of the cards that I do. The rose one was this year's Galentine card, and it is personalized to every individual I send it to. So these are kind of suggestions of what I do. I now automate birthdays. If you want a birthday card from me, I'll give you a link for that. I made my Galentine's Day card, which is this pink rose. I'm really into pink roses lately. Any roses. It is ultra, ultra feminine. And I put in a fabulous poem in it as well. So if you want a Galentine's Day card and you didn't get one from me, let me know and I'll get you a belated Galentine's Day card because it's still February. The other thing I did is I wanted to do a card for my Chamber of Commerce, and that includes many men's, probably at least 50% men. So I wanted a more masculine look. So this is the graphic I chose. And I use a program that will insert the first name for everybody. So I could send this card to 200 people and it'll say, Dear Bob, Dear Susie, Dear Diane, Dear Sheva, whatever. And it does say, in good times and bad times, tough times, we appreciate our chamber members. So that's the extent of my share. You're back to me, I hope. Back to me? Okay, good. So I have one date that's more important than the National Send a Friend a Card Day. That is one of my passions, and that is the date of August 26th. Now, if you look up August 26th on one of those what's national blah, 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 it says National Dog Day. And I will see on Facebook tons of little dog photos. And I say, okay, it's also a very important date for everyone on this call. Does anyone know why Rebecca is so passionate about August 26th.
Did we get the right to vote then? I'm not good. I'm not good. Sorry.
Uh-oh, higher.
Oh, yes, I am. I'm just being brave and saying, is that it?
Yes, August 26th is Women's Equality Day. And that was the day in 1920 when the 19th Amendment giving women the right to vote was officially in the Constitution. I always send a card to my women friends saying Happy Women's Equality Day. And sometimes I send them early and ask people to send it. In my mind, this should be a national holiday, and we should all celebrate when the largest increase in voting franchise happened. And that's when 27 million women nationwide got the constitutional right to vote. And we know that African-American women in the southern states had to wait to exercise their constitutional right, but at least 500,000 African-American women in the northern states did vote after 1920. And it took, of course, a lot longer. How much time do I have? 5? Okay, good. So I wanted to make sure I got that out because that's one of my passions, is to say, this is something we should celebrate. I don't think it should be a national holiday, but I think it's a card sending holiday. I came across a book that I was gifted in December called Rise, Sister, Rise. And I thought it was a little woo-woo. And I thought, well, I'll send it to my woo-woo friend in Portland, Oregon. But the more I got into the book, the more I loved it. And I, in my Valentine's Day card this year, I wrote the whole poem from Rebecca Campbell, and I'd like to share it with you because this is a women's group and we need to lift each other up. And I did this to my friends in a card. The poem is The Mystery of She. Her heart was connected to the flower. As they opened, so did she. Her voice was connected to the birds. As they sang, so did she. Her voice was connected, her wisdom was connected to the trees. As they whispered, so did she. Her womb was connected to the moon. As it waxed and waned, so did she. Her attachments were connected to the tides. As they let go, so did she. Her passions were connected to the fire. As it was stoked, so was she. Her eyes were connected to the entire sky. As it saw clearly, so did she. Her emotions were connected to the rivers. As they flowed, so did she. Her spirit was connected to the stars. As they shone, so did she. Her soul was connected to the entire universe. As it expanded, so did she. So that's by Rebecca Campbell, not me, a different Rebecca. When I sent out these cards to about, 40, 45 people, I got texts, I got cards back telling me they appreciated the card. One woman texted me and said, this is the only Valentine's Day card I received. And she was recently divorced. So it's a boomerang effect. When I send out appreciation and celebration and sympathy and congratulations and whatever emotion I am conveying to people, it's a boomerang and it comes back to me. So getting that text from my friend Carol that it was the only Valentine she received and therefore appreciated, that makes me feel good as I made her feel good. So if we believe we are all here to uplift and encourage each other to follow our dreams and to realize we are all worthy and we are all good enough and we are all valuable. Sending cards is one way to accomplish that. It's just another media. I don't know if you got an email birthday message, but I doubt if you print it and keep it. I have a girlfriend in Portland who has saved dozens of my cards. They don't get thrown away. I have a card I created to celebrate my mother's 90th birthday. Can you do that again, Sheva? I'll close with this one. My mother's 90th birthday. I took a picture. She blew out the candles. I had all kinds of beautiful photos inside. And I sent it to everyone that was at the party or couldn't make it to the party. And that ended up being my mother's last birthday. She died within a couple of months of that. Now, do you think I'm ever going to give away that card or throw it in the trash? Do you think anyone in my family that received that card is going to throw that away? Never. That was my mother's last birthday. So cards become a way to not only appreciate and love and congratulate and sympathize with the people we care about, it's a way to memorialize it too. I mean, this was a COVID safe outdoor Thanksgiving, October 7th of 2020. And I'm going to always keep that. I'm going to keep that. It's a fond memory. So I encourage you, whether you do something like my little Girl Scout or you use an electronic format like Mailbox Power that I use, just appreciate people. And the mailbox becomes more powerful as it becomes rare. When it's rare, it's precious. So send cards, appreciate people.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Rebecca. What a wonderful way to share your passion, share your love with people, and remind us. And we have 5 minutes for questions. Karen.
I have a comment more. You inspired me to look at the quotes that mean something to me, to use those on cards. I've never really thought about that, and Lady E, I can just see you with your own personalized car, Rock Your Moxie. Did I say that right? But you know, when I invited Rebecca, I am a recipient of her cards and I love them. I feel like when I get my mail, that's the last thing I will open is a card. It's like I want to savor it. I don't want to just open it. I want to savor it. So you've re-inspired me to get back into sending cards. And the company that you're with, is it like a send out cards? If we go through you, is there any benefit to you?
Yeah, if you sign up for me, yes, there's a small residual. Right now I have real estate agents really use it quite heavily. But yeah, it's a referral business. You know, I only have one customer. I would love to have lots more customers, but I have so many other things going on.
Can you put it in the chat box how we can reach
Absolutely, absolutely.
I've talked about doing it and I've not done it, and I want to do it. I want to remember my friends who have lost someone dear to them. You know, like I've got some friends that have lost family members through COVID. I want them to know that they're not forgotten. And, you know, one of my friends lost her husband. Well, more than one friend. I have a lot of friends that lost their husband due to COVID or other things. So thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for letting me share one of my passions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can I now?
Wait, I think Diane Carson had a question. Oh, Jenny's on! Yay!
I'm so sorry that you may have covered this already. So I would love it if who's ever in charge when we get Gateway to Dreams together entirely, that somebody be on like a care committee and have these cards to send to people when they need cheering up or we haven't seen them, we miss
Jenny,
you.
can I nominate you?
I'm
If we don't-
happy to do it.
If
Happy
we
to
don't
do
have
it.
to wait till we're back together, we could start loving on people before we're back together.
Yes, that'd be great. And since it's automatic, right? The cards go out automatically. I can get
They
together.
can. I mean, my cards go out automatic on birthdays because that's a hard date. And it'll go out for Valentine's Day and for Women's Equality Day and things like that. But, you know, other occasions, you know, especially sympathy, will arise at different times.
Well, that's true. And then we can do that. And we can get everybody's birthday. We can send it for Women's Equality Day, because that would be, I think, important.
Let's
And then
talk. Let the
sympathy.
three of us talk later, okay?
Okay.
Let's hear from Diane. I'm going to use the restroom. When I get back, while Diane is sharing, stretch. And when I get back, we want to introduce Jody. Go ahead, Diane.
Okay.
And I'll put it in the chat right after I stop, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, look here, I have
Ah, there it is.
and it is on my desk. And when I received it, I don't know if you know, but I've been going through some pretty bad health stuff. And I've been really depressed. And when I got this, oh my gosh, I can't tell you how good this made me feel. I cried. I
Wow.
cried. My husband was there when I opened it and I cried. And he said, what is it? And I said, look, and he read it. He said, oh my gosh, that's just wonderful. So I know that you and I get together for lunch, you know, occasionally. So I really wanted to tell you in person, but I want everybody here to know, you know, how good you made me feel and how much it cheered me up. So thank you.
And
And
Diane,
I do have it on my desk. So
Diane, there's so many of us that would be glad to, maybe if we can't do it in person, have lunch with you
sure,
over Zoom or over a phone and just have lunch together.
sure. Yeah, I haven't been able to walk, so it's been a challenge, but
Oh my.
I'm getting there. So
Well,
thank you.
Rebecca, thank you for this, because our nonprofit is in the process of a fundraiser, and we've always been, well, really, I've always taken care of everything financially. And so we're doing our very first fundraiser, and I just wrote while you were talking, make a digital thank you card for members, iPartners, and sponsors and people who donate to our fundraiser. And so thank you, as well as it's really been on my mind to do that, but I can't wait to tap into whatever this is you have going on so I can roll with it, because there's nothing like getting a physical card in the mail. I
Right.
know what it makes me feel like. I love that. Thank you.
Yay! I always love it when you guys love our speakers and their topics. So you just made me real happy.
Aw,
And there really
thank
is,
you.
there's really so much you can do with the cards that take it up a notch than just, you know, the box that we buy. I mean, to have your logo, to have your picture, to have a sincere quote that matters to you, all cool stuff.
So
Okay,
we
you're back
are-
from the bathroom? Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to move on. We want to make sure to give Jody enough time. And I would love to introduce Jody Grizzle West. And she is our next speaker. And Jody leads a full life, both with Mary Kay sales director and real estate investor. She is a mother of teenagers, ooh, brave, and a wife to an entrepreneur husband that travels. She's also an author and founder of a nonprofit, Amazing Gracie's Legacy, which was created in May of 2016 in honor of her late daughter, Gracie Lynn West. Gracie impacted the world in a huge way, inspiring and encouraging others to be their best. Jody knows what working families go through with a special needs child. She had the freedom and flexibility to never leave Gracie's side. She realized not all families have the same ability With Gracie's passing, Jody took the energy and love spent on Gracie to continue to serve other families. Jody wanted to continue Gracie's impact to encourage and support others to live life with grace, the tagline of the organization. The mission is to make a difference in the lives of families affected by critical care needs of one or more of their children, serving families previously able to provide for themselves before critical care was needed, who no longer are able to due to unforeseen health circumstances. AGL supports needs not covered by existing programs that are of urgent nature or serve a purpose otherwise unmet. It is our goal to support these families to maintain a balanced family unit where all members' needs are met. Welcome, Jody. We can't wait to hear from you. Oh, and you're muted.
Okay, all right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. And that was a beautiful introduction. I appreciate it. How special it is to be with all of you here and just feel your love for one another and all the amazing things that you all are doing. I wanted to start out, I think Karen asked me to speak for about 15 minutes. And of course, I'm here to talk about Amazing Gracie's legacy, but first wanted to tell you a little bit of the details of how that came to be so you can understand my passion and the emotion for that came behind starting this. So I'm going to read a little bit because otherwise I would be here all morning and nobody has time for that. Oh, before I jump in, Rebecca, I just wanted to say to you that I think it's beautiful what you're doing. It was said that, you know, I've had my Mary Kay business for almost 25 years now, and with 300 or plus clients that I have, I always try to just be mindful of those special events that they have, whether it's the loss of a mother or a child, or it's the things we celebrate like the birthdays. And Mary Kay Ash, our founder, always said to take a moment every day to write 5 notes of love and appreciation. So I just wanted to tell you that what you're doing is awesome, and we all need you. But just to tell you, this journey for me all started in 2014. We found out we had a new baby coming. I was 42, so you can imagine that was a little bit of a surprise to me and to us. We didn't tell anyone for the first 4 months because we had lost 9 babies in between the 2 teenagers that we now have. And so I didn't go to the doctor for a long time because we were just, you know, we were just trusting God and it was going to be God's journey. But I went, everything was fine. At my 6-month checkup though, the doctor asked me to do some genetic testing, and I'm making this the short version of the story, but I wasn't the best patient in the world. So I thought, well, this is the least I could do was go get some genetic testing. I didn't really care what they said because this was God's baby and we were going to be fine. But it was 24 hours after getting that genetic testing that I got a call from my doctor that said, my doctor said, his exact words were, "Sorry, kid, she's not going to make it." Can you imagine? You're 6 months pregnant, right? So you can't describe the numbing impact of words like that or the emotions that come after, but I guarantee you, you're forever changed. So as a spiritual person, I thought up until that point, my faith walk was strong. I had no idea how strong it was going to get. So I was quickly transferred to a critical care unit at the hospital. And that's what happens when you get diagnosed with things. And what Gracie was diagnosed with was a condition called trisomy 18 or Edwards syndrome. And to give you, everybody knows what Down syndrome is. So it's a chromosome genetic condition where we all have 2 chromosomes. Each of our chromosomes, we have 2 of them. Okay. So Down syndrome is trisomy 21. So your chromosome 21, Down syndrome kids have 3 of those. Well, trisomy 18, they have 3 of the chromosome 18. And so what that does is it creates all sorts of developmental problems where these kids with trisomy 18, they oftentimes only 10% of them ever survive utero. Of the 10% that are ever born, only 10% of those make it their first 24 hours. Of the 10% of those, only 10%, it's just a series of 10%, okay? So that's what we were facing. And when we were switched to the critical care unit, because of those percentages, their focus was really just on me, okay? So I just was so spiritually led through this journey, and God literally spoke to me in the midst of all of this and said, do not listen to them. I am sending you this child for a purpose. And I don't know if any of you have ever had an experience like that, but it was a beautiful thing. And so I just knew that she was coming, and I didn't know what her purpose was, but I knew that it was big. And so I ended up telling the folks who referred to her as an expired baby through the rest of my pregnancy, I kid you not, they did say that, yes, is I just corrected them. And I said, you can call her whatever you want, but I promise you, she's coming, and y'all might want to get ready for it. So anyway, she did arrive, and as faithfully expected, she was 4 pounds, 3 ounces. She was a warrior from day one. She was already doing what they said couldn't be done. And even though my time doesn't allow me today to totally elaborate on that, there were all sorts of issues. She was born without, her esophagus wasn't, she had esophageal atresia as it's called, but what that basically means is her esophagus wasn't attached to her stomach. And she had a hole in her heart. She had a VAC, like just a lot of things were going on. So it is really easy to say that you're going to just let God handle it, which is what we said. But whenever she was born and laying there on the table and needed some help, no one is going to look at their child and say, don't help her. Do everything you can in your power, right? So we ended up spending 77 days in the hospital, in the NICU, 77 days. And there was 3 surgeries. And I'm trying to just make this a short version because I know you guys want me to get to AGL, but I really want you to understand. Her story is as deep as it is wide, but after 77 days by her side in the NICU, we were 2 different hospitals, 3 major surgeries. We did come home. We were in and out of the hospital many times that 17 months that we had her. And I'll tell you, it's crazy how your scariest, toughest, and most challenging days of your life can also be the best days ever. And I look back at that, and people ask me if I have any regrets, and I absolutely do not. Because one of the most beautiful things is just to see this child as one of God's, I mean, we're all God's children, but just to see her, the way she impacted people's lives all around her and all across the world, actually. It was just an immeasurable blessing to be her mom, to watch people. And I have boxes and boxes of cards, Rebecca, of cards that I still have of people just saying, I don't know how your daughter did it, but just my one experience with her, she made me want to be a better person. And it was nurses, doctors, but also people that just were, crossed her path. And so it was a beautiful thing. But on April 30th of 2016, Gracie was tired, and she achieved what she was sent here to do. And so she transitioned to heaven and let us do her work. So that was the beginning of Amazing Gracie's legacy. She left, and the very next day, as I needed something to do with the focus. I had been so focused on her for 17 months. I had become my who I was Gracie's mom. You know what I mean? And so I needed something to do with that energy immediately. And I just knew that I needed to continue doing what she did. And so that was the day that we launched Amazing Gracie's Legacy. And it really was, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it was painless, that transition. I suspect every day I walk this earth, I'm going to know that there's a part of me that's missing, but I try to focus on the joy of being her mom, and that she set the guidelines of, Mom, this is what we need to do moving forward. So trying to think, I kind of got off on a tangent there, but selfishly as a mom, and I know that there's some of us here today that, we've lost children, and I'm not the only one. And I think one of the biggest fears is that you don't want anyone to forget that your child existed. That's the selfish thing right there. You want everyone to know that she existed. But secondly, again, I just felt that purpose, I was purpose driven in that she was done with what she needed to do, but I needed to continue. And so the idea was actually sparked the day before we lost Gracie of what direction we would take. We were actually at the Ronald McDonald House at Cardinal Glennon with one of Gracie's therapists who had come by to visit her because Gracie had to have her PICC line replaced. And so we were just sitting out there, and her therapist was telling us about a family that was having challenges, who had a baby similar to ours and was having challenges, and they were about to get their lights shut off because they didn't have the money to pay their light bill because they had this special needs child and work was being missed and whatnot. And so my husband pulled out $300 out of his pocket and handed it to the therapist and said, go pay their light bill. And so that was kind of just like, we knew that was kind of the direction that we needed to go. We were a working family, but we had the flexibility in our schedule because we own our own businesses. We were blessed to have a huge village of people here in St. Louis that supported us because we've been here for 20 years. And at that time it was 20 years. And we just knew that not everybody had those same blessings. Okay. So that was kind of set the stage for it. Our first big thing was that we focused on random acts of kindness. I've heard that talked about here today, and February 17th was National Random Acts of Kindness Day, for those of you who didn't know. But that was our initial focus. And so we created these cards. We were seeking families like ours, encouraging others to do nice things, reminding each other that the world was a beautiful place. And anyway, there's like 6,000 of them went out the door immediately. People were calling and requesting them and then sending, shots and stories and videos of what they were doing and pictures of buying coffee, for the person behind you in the Starbucks line and things like that. And so that was one aspect of it. And then we continued on helping families whose stories were brought to us, paying light bills, providing school supplies, purchasing groceries, things like that. So we were doing little things, okay? But we decided that we wanted to do some big events, okay? So our first big event was Amazing Gracie's Holiday Express. I don't know if any of you have heard of that, but it was inspired by that previous year that we still had Gracie. My husband, as you're kind of getting the theme, he's a really giving guy. He wanted to show our children that even in challenging times that you can still help others. And so we as a family adopted a few other families and visited them for Christmas with Gracie, bringing them gifts, okay? So we now wanted to do that in Gracie's honor, as it was the first year. So it became Amazing Gracie's first big event, providing Christmas for families that weren't able to provide for themselves due to the challenges of the current health status of one of their children. So we wanted to make sure each member received the Christmas that they wanted to have, in that we weren't just going and buying some toys. We went the extra mile and had them send their Santa's Christmas list, if you will. And then we went out and got those exact items for them.
Jody, I just want to let you know that Jody is our dream tank today. And so she is going to now transition into telling us the dream for her business and asking us. And so, and you'll have just like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then leave us 3 minutes so that we can give you some feedback.
Love it, love it, love it. See, this is why I write things down, because I'm really passionate about it and I could go on forever. So we do the Holiday Express, which we're always looking for participants there. We do the bike giveaway in the summer, which is where we support and love on the siblings of the special needs child, because they're the ones who get put on the back burner because they're healthy and everything's good with them. And, we tend to work with about 30 families and at a time, to where it's just, whatever, they might need throughout the year. So something that we're always looking for is, of course, spreading the word that we exist, because there's a lot of programs out there, but I don't know that there's many other programs that support and focus on the working families. And these working families, a lot of times they don't get the help that they need because they don't qualify for whatever program because their income on paper looks too high. So that also too, I'm always looking for people to just help out with, like helping to process the random acts of kindness request, to put together that the love that we like to share as far as remembering the birthdays and sending the messages out. So, that kind of help is always good. Volunteers is what has been the hardest challenge outside of COVID. I'll tell you, outside of COVID has been really hard on our nonprofit simply because we're working with special needs kids already. And germs and viruses and things are they're critical to all of us, but especially for our special needs kids. So our big events we've not been able to do. And I can only hope that we can get back to that in the next year and that, COVID goes away, as we would all love for it to. But volunteers would be very helpful. There's never enough hands to do what we need to do.
Thank you so much. So does anyone have any questions, comments, ideas of how to help Jody's dream be realized?
One of my first things is I want to connect you to Kathy Lambert. Do you already know her? She started Connections to Success, Dress for Success, and over 23 years raised $43 million and 23 million in the last 6 years. They feel like, so they left their nonprofit and are helping other nonprofits. So I'm actually sending a Facebook message for you guys. Actually, Aneezer, who's on the call, is in our group, in the program as well with her nonprofit.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
Anyone else with ideas or thoughts of how we might support Jody and Gracie's legacy?
I just want to share how needed this is. This is just such a devastating challenge to any parent that goes through this. And my very dear friend named Grace is dealing with a special needs child and has not been able to work the last 6 months. And I'm going to tell her about you and your organization because she has been dreaming that something like this exists.
Oh,
So thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Beautiful. I'd be happy to talk to her and help her any way we can.
I just wanted to say thank you for sharing, and I feel your heart. I identify with it, literally identify with it. No one understands what it means to lose a child, and I am one of the people who do. I'm in that unfortunate group. However, I love the fact that even the blessing that you had to be able to hold her and embrace her and spend the time you did with her, and that her life meant something, is absolutely phenomenal. And so it's something to smile about. So I love what you're doing, giving back. I'm doing the same thing with Morning to Morning, and God bless you. I see your passion. I see that. And it'll take you everywhere.
Well, thank you. It's nice to meet you, and I would love to learn more about what you're doing too. Maybe we can
Thank
talk.
you. And whatever I can do to help you, I'll be there. Yes.
Likewise, my new friend. Thank you guys for the time. I appreciate it.
Jody,
Thank
we
you.
hope that you will stay part of our community. We need people like you. We need the work that you do. The more heart-centered people that are doing work like that, like you and Rebecca, it's about creating, like, you are both really stepping into your dreams, shining your light so brightly that it's inspiring even other people to see miracles happen around them because they don't feel alone, they don't feel ignored. And thank you for all of the work that you're doing.
Thank
Jody,
you. Thank you for having me.
what kind of PR are you doing? Are you writing press releases, or are you You reaching out to the media or anything like that, especially about your fundraiser?
You know what, Diane? I appreciate the question. We were doing all of that, and I'm going to tell you, I've really stopped doing a lot of it just because word gets around. We're blessed that word gets around about us, and you know, we have been so stifled with everything going on with COVID. We can't do our big events. I didn't have my fundraiser this year that we do one big fundraiser usually to support, and it does support us. But we haven't even been able to get in the hospitals to sit with the moms during surgeries and things with all the new rules with COVID. So we were doing those on a regular, but we haven't been.
Okay, I was just curious.
Thank you.
Another thing, oh, I just want to say that I just recently lost a dear friend who was a special needs child. And she lived just a few months shy of 50. She was congenital, like no one thought she would survive. It's such a rare disease. And, you know, every year was just a miracle. And so I have been looking for a place to donate to because in her honor, because her mom just never left her side. It was, you know, after all those years. So and she said, just practice a random act of kindness. That's all we ask. And she was handing me out a card. I have to go look at it because I wonder if it's one of yours. But I really want to tell them about what you're doing because they are feeling idle now that they were same story in and out of hospitals, surgeries. So they're really ready to share and pour that love onto other families.
That makes so much sense to me because yeah, you lose your identity and you don't even realize it because you're so focused on what's happening. But these are our random acts of kindness. That one has a hole in it because it's being put on. That's crazy. Yeah, I know you're seeing it backwards, but it's just I just performed a random act of kindness in the name of Amazing Gracie. Please take this card, pay it forward, then share your story of your act with us. So it's also about you touched on something about the miracles, and I really think that's what makes the difference in these situations is that we can. Benjamin Franklin he is quoted as saying, "You can go through life," and my book actually starts out with this quote: "You can go through life as if nothing is a miracle or as if everything is a miracle," and it will have and that's his quote, but that attitude and the way you choose to see things will have such a huge impact on your experience. Go ahead, Karen.
Well, actually, that quote was what I didn't think of that quote, but that quote with Sheva saying what she just said, to me, this call that is a God story, right? Like this is a God story because she can help her friend's family and herself. Had you not spoken today, there would be a void. So I don't know, like to me, everything that is a miracle is God. And that is what I'm feeling in the moment. In fact, you know, one of the things that as an organization we face is when we met face to face on the low side, we probably had 30 to maybe 70 people and now we're down to whatever is on this call. And there's the part of me that is not of God where I'm going, you know, should we just stop doing these? And then when I hear this, you know, I mean, Missy, we talked about this, you know, it's just something we need to give up. But when I hear Sheva respond to Jody about how this is going to help, and Lady E, this has to feel, you know, for you do know Jody's pain. So again, I'm just calling these my God moments. And I just got goosebumps because, you know, keeping this going until, I don't know. So I'm just thankful for you and thankful that you provided something for our members.
I'm so honored to be able to do that. Thank you. We're all in this together, you know.
We are, and we would love to hear about how Gateway to Dreams has helped you. How has it made a difference in your life? And we would love to hear that story if anyone's willing to share that.
I would. I'm muted and you can see me. Oh my God, it's a miracle. I was going to say to Jody, collaboration, because this is partially how it's made a difference, partially giving to Jody, but collaboration with another like-minded person would be a great thing for you. I know the Olive and Oak Foundation in Webster Groves and the whole Olive and Oak restaurant started with two families who had lost infants because of a congenital heart defect, and they were newborns. So that started a lot of great things. And I have found collaboration. I just want to say, I hope that Jenny Grace Morris is still on the call, because I was seated in CPW one day and shared that I was doing Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and she had shared that she had an acting background, and I looked at her and she kind of looked like Susan B. Anthony. I said, would you ever want to be Susan B. Anthony? So instead of just being a solo performer, now I have a trio. And there's so much power in having friends and partners to propel you forward, So I just say, look at collaboration. And that is the part of CPW. Well, there's many parts of CPW, Gateway to Dreams, that I adore. But it's also collaboration, so you don't have to do it all alone.
Thank you so much. Missy, were you going to share something?
I am just listening. I'm with Karen. We had kind of discussed how CPW moves forward, but I do feel like the other ladies have expressed the collaboration that goes on here and the support that we have and the connections that we're able to make, in sharing our stories and, what's on our mind is just a beautiful thing. And I see us just continuing, however that may look, and being able to see all of our beautiful faces every month or every other month or whatever we decide to do in the future. So it's a great thing that Karen has created here and does. And I mean, she's been a godsend to me, and I've made some amazing connections here, and I appreciate each and every one of you.
Thank you so much. Yes, I
want to say something.
Yeah.
We love listening to you, lady.
I always listen. I'm telling you, I never was a part of a networking community. I didn't know anything about networking. I was the Lone Ranger in everything. Anything I did it by myself for the most part, and just ran myself. Well, it was exciting for me, but I knew that I needed divine connections. I've already told you all this before. I asked God for divine connections, and I did not want to be in one group of people, okay? Everyone I knew were really, for the most part, was African-American. I just had never been out of this bubble, and I knew that where the vision God had given me and where God is taking me, that he was graduating me from what was normal for me, and that I needed to, that my territory needed to be enlarged, because what he had put in me, I knew it was great, and more people needed to be exposed to it. And LaCen Lobster connected me with Karen. Usually LaCen send me stuff and I ignore it because she's the resource queen and she gives me so much stuff, it's overwhelming. So usually I would ignore it, but the way she did it this time, she put me on the spot on Facebook, made a group, myself, Karen, and herself. Lady E, this is Karen. Karen, this is Lady E. I think you all should connect. I mean, how am I going to ignore that when Karen immediately responds? Oh man. Oh, when Karen immediately responds, I have to respond back. And I'm like, oh God, here this girl go again. Because I was uncomfortable putting myself in front of people. I really was, and so I responded to Karen. We talked on the phone either that day or the next day. hit it off. I felt like I knew her all my life. I loved her spirit. I'd never seen her before. She invited me to CPW, and the rest is history. And I will say this, it's gone from Karen to Jenny Grace to the person who's my coach, Lethea Owens, to the connections are just endless, to Kathy Lambert, who I just adore. And all of you, Sheva, I can't, if I started saying names, we would be on here forever, but this has been a huge blessing to me. And what I was going to say is, I don't believe in being a part of something and not if it's blessing me, and not let that be an investment in my own life and investing in what I'm a part of. If I'm going to be a part of CPW, then I need to be a member. So I just say, wherever you're being fed, pay it forward, It's only
Lady
six- this is a commercial because I believe. Okay, I'm done.
She was one of the first to buy a full page ad in our magazine, Be the Change. So we love Lady E. We're glad that she expanded her territory to include us.
We have so many, like infinite stories of the faith of a mustard seed here. And it's because Karen demonstrates and role models that faith and makes it so easy to follow in her footsteps. We are wanting to move the focus back over to Missy.
Well, I am so excited to share the board that supports Karen. Hopefully, Karen, I got this updated properly.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, well,
Okay.
no, we have one more thing we need to add. What is the word? Emeritus for Dr. Marty and for Deborah.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, we'll get it.
Yeah, so I need to put Deborah back on.
Yeah, but as emeritus and Marty as emeritus.
Okay, well, send me
If I'm even saying
Deborah's
that
picture
right.
again, and I will get that updated properly.
Okay.
But as we've shared so many times in our meetings, it does take a village. Not one of us can do it all by ourselves. And this is everybody behind Karen that is helping her to move, Gateway to Dreams forward, all of the programs that we do. It also takes another aspect of villagers, volunteers. We have amazing opportunities for anybody interested. We are looking for additional MCs to help with CPW. So if you are interested, please email Karen or myself and let us know. I'm Melissa at sageskincare.com. I will put that in the chat. And then,
And
as
you get a
always,
script. You get a script. If you decide to be an MC, you get a script. So you're not just.
Yes, you're not winging it. And our hopes is that we have enough of us going forward that not everybody is committed to, multiple months a year. So. But with that being said, we are a nonprofit as well. So here is the way to donate to us. The donations go to keeping the lights on at the Business Lodge, which we're hoping to get back there sooner than later. And it helps to keep Joy of Goals going, Write Your Book Right Now, CPW. So any and all donations are welcome and appreciated. And for the closing quote today, I always love, because I never really fully know what is going to be chatted about, but being that we don't have any boys on today, not that we have a lot of them, but little girls with dreams become women with vision. I think we have amazing women with vision in this organization. And I think that kind of sums it up well for today.
Thank you, Missy. And Karen, take it away.
Oh, really?
Are you going to introduce the next, the closing song for us?
Oh, okay. I just like, what am I supposed to do now? Okay, for those that have not been on this call before, this may sound a little strange, but in 2014, I heard this song in August after Michael Brown was shot, and it went through my body. It just literally went through my body. Pookie Lee was singing it at Foss Park in the Butterfly House area for an event there. And God asked me to wake her up one morning and have her come to CPW and sing it. And it just really resonates with me that to be the change, everybody needs to take responsibility. So this song is I Am Responsible, and we just sing along with it, but we'll be muted. Now you take it away, Tiffany.
All right, I muted everybody else. I had to unmute myself. So yes, so I want the words are on the screen. You should be able to see those. I'm going to play the music so you can sing along and have a wonderful month.
Thanks, everybody.
I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. Looking around the world, and what do I see? So many things in a state of need, pain and suffering all around me. I won't stand by and just let this be, 'cause I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. Everywhere, everyone wants to be free. Some look around and say, it's not me. How can they close their eyes and not see? It all comes down to me. Because I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I said I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I'm reliable, accountable, dependable, invincible. I'm capable, incredible, responsible. I'm reliable, accountable, dependable, invincible. I'm capable, incredible, responsible. 'Cause I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I say I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I said I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. To leave the world a better place. To leave the world a better place. Come on and leave the world a better place. Yeah.
Have a beautiful month, everyone. Thank you for staying.